All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checker TV. Tonight we have the Area 51 Superspeedway Xfinity Series here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. Drivers just kicking off their qualifying laps here. 5 minutes to get those laps underway, which will start our grid for tonight's event. We've had 3 races down, and we've had 3 very exciting finishes. But the story right now is the dominance of that number 1 of Gabe Butler. I talked to him a little bit pre-race. He's feeling a little skeptical. It feels like that luck eventually is bound to turn for him, as he's mentioned too. I mean, the whole point is streaks are meant to be broken. So he has a kind of that sinking feeling. It sounds like tonight may not feel as confident as he has kind of going to the other nights. But I mean, obviously everybody's gonna be gunning for that 1 car no matter what. And yeah, so if you're a teammate of that one car, maybe try to hop in front of him and be that pusher if you can. And as crazy as it sounds, we're going to bring up the points coming into tonight because we are already going to start race number 4. So after tonight, we'll be halfway through the regular season, getting into that 4-race playoff. So definitely got to pull that up so we can see where your favorite drivers are, because right now Gabe definitely running away with things by a fair margin right now, 28 points over Robert DuPont. As you can see there, go down to the 8th position right now. Les Levy holding that final spot, 41 out of the lead. But you can go from 8th all the way down to the 16th position, I believe it is. And they are all right there within 10 points of that 8th position. So really, I mean, it's still a really close battle here between, actually, I'm sorry, the 14th position with Dan Harrington right now being on the outside, again, just by 10 points, along with Kevin Freeze, Tom Dixon, Charles Johnson. So there's definitely a handful of drivers that could easily jump into that position. And then even a little further back, wouldn't be surprised to see some of these other guys make a charge as well. Just haven't had the luck that they've been looking for early on, so don't expect to see them staying towards the back too long. And of course, the other thing to mention is there will be 1 drop week. So if some of these drivers had a bad race, maybe missed a race, will not completely reflect how their races have gone. So that'll be something to keep in mind as well. So you see Cody Nagels jumped 6 spots from last week's race, but Kevin Freeze, and say, unfortunately not seeing him in the field tonight. However, he jumps 14 spots with his results last week as well. So like I said, qualifying going on as we speak. Got about 2 minutes left in qualifying, and I said not sure he's made it back to his seat or not yet, but dragging into the booth one more time with me. Actually, no, he is not in the seat yet, so we'll give him just a moment. But I will have Matt Wagner back in the booth with me once more, so it's always fun to share these with some friends and buddies and get everything rolling here in just a moment. And of course, before getting to everything, hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend. I know it's just about coming to a close, but I'll say fingers crossed, hopefully for your work. It's like coming up soon. We're going to have hopefully a 3-day weekend for you all with Labor Day. So hope you all are able to take advantage of that extra day off. And yeah, say if there's any questions, any insights you want to either ask or share, anything like that, definitely don't hesitate to chat in our YouTube. It's always fun to see what insights you have. And yeah, Dean, as I chatting in earlier, saying things for broadcasts. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to do these for you guys, Dean, and it's always a lot of fun to watch what you guys do week in and week out. So looks like, again, qualifying just about complete. It looks like we got one driver left on track to not put a lap down yet, and that is going to be that Gabe Butler. Say he's waited late to put his lap in. So like I said, he's won 2 of the last 3 races here, and he's won all 3 in the Truck Series. So let's hop on. We'll hop and we'll take a peek and see if he's making a lap, or maybe just trying to kind of shake that car down a little bit here, because this is going to be the only lap he gets. So if he is going for it, it's going to have to be a good one here. But Gabe right now is the one it looks like to beat so far this season, and it looks like he does get a lap down. And we'll wait to go over who qualifies where there, because I don't want to give spoilers. But Matt, I see you sneaking in the booth here. Good to have you back, and it's going to be a lot of fun here tonight back at Talladega.
Oh, I'm kind of glad to be back. It's been a little bit of a hiatus from me, so I'm really looking forward to this race here. We'll see what happens. I see some new names, new faces I'll have to get used to. It's going to be quite a show here tonight.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun this evening, as it looks like most of the field's starting to head over to the grid. And so with that, we will pull up our starting lineup for tonight's event. as it will be Gabe Butler on pole, and once again into the tens of thousands of seconds over Jimmy Crowe Jr. There you can see 0.000. Charles Johnson going to be in row number 2 in third by 1/1000th of a second. Charles misses out on pole. And then 6,000ths off Dean Wilkinson, 9,000ths off is Gary Jenkins. So you've got the top 5 all within 100th of a second. Then you get down to Cody Nagel, Zach Workman, David Bond, Eric Laurie, Robert DuPont are top 10. 11th and 12th, you've got Robert Rock, J.D. Crowe, Vicente Guerrero, 13, Tom Dixon, Bud Steele, Les Levy, Doug Lemon, Jay Hilliard, Dan Harrington, and David Overstreet are top 20. Then you got Robert Jordan in 21st. So I don't think Matt's actually going to get on track. If he is, let's say, well, we'll see if he's going to do the in-race reporting. But I say that'll then bring up Paul Turner and Bob Fitzgerald there in the 24th position. And then our last starters tonight will be Randy Miner, Ivan Deschamps, Todd Siebels, and Ron Blackwell in the number 27 machine in 28th.
No, I will not be running. I had accidentally clicked on the wrong session, but that's okay.
So now just waiting for everybody to get gridded up here. Just got a couple more cars, so we'll probably run the full 2 minutes or so in. We'll try to say looks like about 20 seconds left until that clicks over and hands it off to our front row of Gabe Butler and Jimmy Crowe. Saying looking for teammates. I already see the 9 and the 55. They'll be lining up together in row number 2. Part of that Bad Company group there, so those will be 2 to watch here as well. As you see the field starting to roll off to get that pace lap underway. And then we will be at it here for 78 laps, our race distance. And of course, the big change with that fuel mileage, or should I say with the lap distance, is the potential fuel mileage side of things, which sounds, I think the magic number, if you can get 26, maybe 27 laps on fuel, that could get you on a 2-stopper, but it's going to require a lot of dedication to save fuel. So we'll see if anybody's going to try to go the fuel mileage route, or if these guys are just going to go full tilt here and just get those laps led and just try to control this race. But we're back to Talladega after last week at Daytona, which means, Matt, we got 8 more feet of room, which means we're going to have a lot more 3-wide racing here.
Yeah, since I came back, I see the total number of laps have changed from 75 to 78. So that fuel, like you said, you talked about, it definitely will be a factor. It'll pick and choose that anybody's aggression level will pick up, or probably not be as as we're used to seeing. But I don't know what to expect here tonight for me.
So that's honestly, I think that's the kind of the nature of the beast of these races, and that's what makes them so much fun. Is you don't know what to expect. It seems like week after week. So we're about to find out here in just a moment as they come through 3 and 4, and then that pace car will make that sharp left. But right now we still got a little bit further to go before we get there. So it's going to be a lot of fun though tonight here. So hope you're enjoying your weekend, and looking forward to having you with us here tonight to finish off the evening here tonight. All right, see the pace car ducking off onto the apron there, getting ready to head onto pit road. And that will hand things over to our front row here. Gabe Butler and Jimmy Crowe, Dean Wilkinson, Charles Johnson, row 2. And of course, initial start always on the green flag. So once they get to the end of that Geico restart zone, the flagman will wave that green flag, and we are down and away. 78 laps again, scheduled distance, 2 fast repairs available for these drivers should they need it. And of course, 3 attempts of a green-white checkered if that comes into it. So we'll see as they get their speed built up as they head into turn number 1. Got one already struggling back off the field here, unfortunately. That's Ron Blackwell. That is not going to be the start he needs here, Matt, because he's already off the draft, and that's going to just put him in a bad position if there's no early yellow, I should say. But right now, Gabe Butler and Jimmy Crowe Jr. are going to lead that charge down the backstretch.
Yeah, that's he's definitely going to lose the draft here. It's going to be pretty much a long night.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye and see how things progress. But yeah, right now, He's off on his own. He's about 1.7 seconds off of Todd Siebels, who's kind of doing the Todd Siebels approach, just kind of going, cruising, waiting until it's really time to make big moves. Right now, the big question is for lap number 1, who's going to lead that lap? And it looks like just by a nose, I believe Gabe Butler gets that lap led there in the 1 machine. As we saw that the second lane kind of got split up there a little bit on the outside line between the 55 and the 16. So I'm going to watch for the 1 here, though. Does he drop low if he led that lap and maybe try to take it easy? Yep, there he goes. He got that lap led, got the pole position. That's 2 bonus points in his pocket. He says, all right, boys, you guys go at it. I'm going to run some fuel mileage here in this number 1 machine. But he's got to make sure he doesn't drop too far back off this group. And it looks like he's going to tag on to the back of Todd Siebels as they head back into 3 with Charles Johnson out at the point.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. You leave a lap and want to get out of harm's way. You don't want to put yourself in a position that you don't want to wreck the race car. You want to save that fast repair in case something really bad happens to you. That'd be my truly mindset.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous though because Todd and Gabe actually they've fallen back about 1.5 seconds here. So they've got each other, but they are going the wrong way to the back of it. Looks like right now Ivan Deschamps in that number 019. So we might even see some drivers have to back up a little bit more, like Randy Miner, maybe one of the teammates to Todd Siebels. Do we see him drop back? I'm watching JD Crow too. He could be a potential to try to pick up some of those guys. So we'll keep an eye on the ticker, keep an eye on those intervals. But right now up front, though, these guys, and there it is, we're back to 3 wide racing. We got Jimmy Crow Jr. kind of got put in the middle there. It's going to be Dean Wilkinson leading the top side with Les Levy behind him. On the inside, you got Charles Johnson and Gary Jenkins leading the way on that bottom line.
Yeah, not much has changed. I still see a lot of 3 wide racing here. No saving fuel at this point.
Yeah, probably not too many fuel savers going on right now. Ken mentioned Todd and Gabe. They're starting to hustle back up there. Last time by, they were a couple tenths quicker than the leaders, and they are starting to close the gap down about now 0.7 of a second. So I believe job going to be done for them. And I think it's exactly what we're seeing here. That 101 Randy Miner. I think he was also dragging off the back a little bit, as was JD Crow. Just making sure they could pick up their teammates there, and that's the selflessness we see out of TW and out of Bootknockers. That these guys don't. They take this team stuff seriously because you're going to need your friends at some point in this race. So, again, the selflessness, the unselfishness is really fun to see here. As again, got 2x2 for the first about 3 to 4 rows, then 3x3 once you get to Dean Wilkinson for about 3 rows there as well.
Yeah, I see Cody Ned or something here. Where's that green car I'm used to seeing?
Vicente's here somewhere. Just got to hunt him down. Looking for that number 14 machine. And there he is. He's on the inside line there. Just a couple rows back there. But yeah, definitely not hooked up with one another as of yet. But you can see everybody starting to try to move a little bit further forward here. But right now, say again, kind of, I'm looking at the cruise control pack, if you will. And right now, that would be, to me, Bob Fitzgerald. I think he's kind of just been living on that inside line from the get-go. And hopefully saving some fuel in that 08 car and doesn't have to stress about that 2-3 wide racing right next to him. So I like that little pocket that he's in there in the 08. Same with Dan Harrington. He's in a pretty good spot as well. So that's what you see. You got to get those mixed strategies here, Matt. Do you want to be up front, pushing, just kind of just having fun and going after it? Because again, I mean, that's what these guys do. As you can see now, they've gotten to just about that 3x3. We've got 2 bad company cars on that front row, the 9 and the 55 on the bottom, and the top set, kind of squeezing the middle there of Jimmy Crow Jr. Or do you cruise in the back and kind of do that fuel mileage strategy, as we've seen some drivers do to great success?
There's one driver in this field right now who I like to be in their shoes. Is 6 of Bud Steele. Just pretty much being by himself, nothing on the top of him, just cruising, just staying within the pack and with the draft. You know, you can sit there and save fuel as much as you want. No reason to push really hard. He's just cruising, just my type of racing, just laying back, just chilling.
And he's in a great spot too. He's still in the top 15, 16 or so. And like I said, he's right in the main packs, because that's the risk versus reward. Because we've seen from time to time, there's sometimes instances that don't bring out a yellow, and then unfortunately it really splits the field up. And so for Bud there, he might be in a good little pocket where he's still close enough should something happen. But you always, of course, are always nervous depending on if and when things do occur. So we had a couple races so far this season where there's been an incident, but everybody's either able to keep it straight or keep it off the racing surface, and then iRacing opts not to throw the yellow. And so, and then in this league, they do have it just with iRacing yellows because trying to just avoid any kind of the less hands-on, the better. That way, there's not as much like there's no risk of like, well, hey, why was this yellow and this wasn't, things of that nature. Everybody's competitive, and so it just kind of like, hey, it's this way, it's equal for everybody. So that way, it's okay if iRacing says it is. If it wasn't, unfortunately, it wasn't. Sometimes it might help you, sometimes it might hurt you. That's just the nature of these races.
Yeah, I had my fair share of should have been a caution, just more likely the car is not on the track stop. That's it. It's weird how iRacing works sometimes. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, and it plays in your favor. And usually it's not my favor, but these guys right here, that moment where you don't get that yellow, it spreads the field all apart. And then it gets to a point where now it's going to be two different races.
And that's exactly as we're watching these guys just blow by these cameras with just ridiculous speed right now. You see once again through turns 1 and 2 at speed. So you've still got pretty much the entire field here, all within about a couple seconds of the leader. Saw right there one sneaking a little bit too high there, but right now they do have about a solid half a lap lead over Ron Blackwell.
There's some move by Cody Nagel, decides to put 3 wide.
Yeah, and I feel like it's only a matter of time before Cody's ready to make some moves there, because he wants to get to the point. I mean, the thing is, he's got a pusher now of Dean Wilkinson. So if you want something to lock down your bumper, the 55 is definitely one to do so. And that's really opened the door. Everybody's starting to make some moves now. You see the 18 there, Zach Workman. He's hopped to the middle lane in front of Jimmy Crow. And now the 18 getting a good push to the front here. So we might see things shuffle up a little bit. Charles has had it, I wouldn't say easy, but he's definitely enjoyed where he's been a good chunk of this race here. Been leading a handful of successful laps right now. So now it looks like he's going to get probably a little bit of extra pressure now from that 18 there in the middle, and then soon to be that 06 on that third lane.
That's a man right there I would like to love to see with a win here tonight. He's been, I remember last season, and he was up the front, in contention to win. It's just the luck was not on his side. But Zach Workman up in the front here early this afternoon. I would love to see him pull off a win.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's so many stories and names that you're right. I mean, so many feel-good stories that are available in these fields. So, I mean, I know you're kind of Mr. First-Time Winner. If we can see those first-time winners,
yes,
it's just so much fun to have. So we'll see if we get one, or even one of those things, maybe a first-time, well, pretty much good, almost guaranteed to be a first-time winner this season, if it's not the 1 or the 55. But you see right now, those like I said, you got the 9, the 18, the 06 leading the way here. But again, I still wonder, though, that fuel strategy, Matt, because we're getting to just about the halfway point of the fuel run here. Going to start lap number 12 next time by. I feel like that's going to kind of force the hand of drivers like Charles Johnson, for instance, leading so much early on here. He's going to have to pit earlier. Does that take him out of that 2-stop window that we might see out of a handful of these guys? Do we see some drivers go to 26, maybe even 27 laps on fuel? That will tell us pretty quickly if we're thinking 3-stop or 2-stop. And again, of course, that all depends on if we stay green start to finish.
Yeah, I was kind of looking to see what our fuel numbers were, and it does a little bit more gas than we got last season. I think that they have a little bit of, as you would say, a little bit of room to play with there. But I just don't like the racing really hard, really early. I love saving fuel early on, and then later in the race, and you can just go at it and just not worry about fuel.
Yeah, I think we're similar mindsets there, Matt, because I'm in the same boat there. I'm definitely one that tries to save as much fuel as I can. And then if it is a guaranteed where it's like, okay, no matter what, it's a 2-stop race, no matter what, it's a 3-stop race, I try to save fuel as Cody Nichols hops in front of the 18 there. He's going to now lead that second lane. And unfortunately for Dean Wilkinson, he's lost all help up top there, so he's going to fall a ways back to the 07 of Robert DuPont. But what I was mentioning, though, right there was just the fact that if you can save, even if it's going to be, like I said, even if you're still going to do a 2 or 3 stop guaranteed race, I like to save early, and then when it's about time for pit stops, maybe about 3-4 laps before the pit stops open, that's when I make my jump to the middle to the top and try to make a big charge towards the front, and then try to kind of get that track position before pit stop cycles begin. But then, of course, if you're in a situation like this where you're kind of maybe in between the chance of a two-stopper or a three-stopper, I definitely go the route of trying to save a pit stop, because I think that's just the way I've always raced. Is I try to kind of just, the less I have to be in the pits, probably the better, especially for me. So I don't know about these guys, not so much, but I'm definitely notorious for overshooting my pit stall. But yeah, these guys I usually got their heads on pretty straight with that pit entries and everything. So right now, though, pretty steady up front, still 2x2. It's been pretty much the 9 and the 90 leading that inside line. Eric Laurie, kind of the third car there in line. I mean, yes, he's right up front, but I do like where Eric has been all race long here, Matt. He's just been cruising right in this inside line. That third car doesn't have to push too hard, can just kind of ride, kind of save. Eric Laurie might be getting some great fuel mileage along with that 171 of Robert Rock right behind him.
Just to give you an update on, remember when Gabe Butler fell back just quite a ways. It was kind of scary that he might lose the draft. He is back up in the draft. Him and Todd Stevens, they are safely in the draft right now.
Yeah, definitely caught back up to the field, and the field not too far away from catching that 27 car. As you see, there's a field here coming out of the backstretch, and we'll look just out to the distance there, and there's the 27 car, Ron Blackwell. He enters turn 3. Here comes the field with a huge head of steam, but what I do see that will be in his favor is they are running 2x2, so Ron should be able to jump to the top here, just run up against the wall right above that third lane, if you will. But while we're talking about all that, they're completely missed Cody Nagels. He takes the point there in the 06, but Charles Johnson said, you know what, I'm not ready to give up that top spot yet. I'm going to jump back in front of the 18, see if I can get the push and go right back to the point there. Charles Johnson definitely enjoying to have this clean air on that front grille of that Chevy Camaro.
Yeah, as you were saying, we're going back to Eric Laurie here, but I totally 100% agree with you. I feel safe with the cars that are around him. He's in a great position here.
Also starting to see Team Extreme forming up here on that second lane. You got the 33 there of David Bond. You got the 411 of Tom Dixon. Those two locked onto each other. The only missing in that package is the 617 of Doug Levin. He's kind of cruising on the inside there in that Pepsi machine. Hasn't got to the top as of yet. We'll see if they do. But what I do start to see is that third lane starting to form here, though. Dan Harrington, he's decided, you know what, I'm going to start peeking here. Les Levy's definitely interested as well. And for a split second, it looked like David Overstreet was going to go with him. Then he said, yeah, I like the middle lane a little bit better here. And then now goes actually Bud Steele. He hops on top. He's going to pick up Dean Wilkinson. Those are Bad Company teammates there in that 6 and the 55. So we'll see. Right now the momentum isn't in their favor, but it just takes 1 or 2 good pushes to get that momentum start to roll.
Yeah, as a driver, Bud Steele, he saved all this fuel in the beginning of the race, and I really think he's kind of making a bad move here. I really think he should have saved a lot more fuel, and he can probably pit later than most of these other drivers. But he's going to have a friend helping him toward his pit stop there.
And that is a good question, though, on that, Matt, is the fuel, because it might be one of those things where maybe as the kind of, again, we're basing things off of practice. The race pace, they may have bumped up the pace of this thing where maybe the fuel mileage is actually getting a little worse than they imagined kind of encountered in practice. And so I said, you know what? We do need to make a 3-stop race, so let's get to the front. Like I said, we're getting to about that 5 to 7 lap window until pit stops begin. So he said, Bud Steele, he was saving. So you know what? It's time to go. Let's get to the front here, as he's now leading that third lane there again with his teammate there in the 55 of Dean Wilkinson. You see Charles Johnson, he's kind of got pinned behind the 06 of Cody Nagels down there. Zach Workman still leading the middle lane in the 18. But right now they are going to be 3
almost 4 wide here.
Yeah, I think that may have. I don't think that was an attempted pass by Dean Wilkinson. I think that was a getting hot Dean Wilkinson. I think that oil temps were starting to spike, and Dean said, I got to get some clean air. And the tri-oval is the best place to do that. That tri-oval really widens out there. You can get a lot higher, like I said, get that 4th lane almost. But it does allow for you to kind of be able to get some good clean air, cool that car off quickly. and then we'll probably see them try to latch back onto each other. You see Dan Harrington, he's decided, on second thought, I'm going to roll on back here again. Didn't seem like he was going to be able to get what he was hoping for there. But right now it's been the Charles Johnson and Cody Nagel show these last couple laps. One passes the other one waits for the momentum shift. He jumps to the middle lane and gets that nice push from Zach Workman and gets back to the point. So at some point, we're going to see them start to get a little greedier about holding that inside line. And there goes Cody again. He's going to hop in front of Zach. Zach's going to give him that shove once again, entering turn 1, but doesn't quite clear as quickly as we've seen before. So they're going to stay side by side here as we are on lap number 20 now of 78.
Yeah, I want to watch this outside line. There's probably this big momentum coming down the back stretch here.
Yeah, great exit off of 2 for that 6 in the 55. Bud is coming with a head of steam. He's gotten all the way alongside the 606 car. He's going to have just a nose ahead, not enough to clear. So they will stay side by side here through 3 and 4.
That was a little bit dicey there.
Just got a little off center, but they gathered it back up quickly. So great hands by both drivers there. And I think Dean saw that. He reacted as well. You can see the separation that they have on one another here. But we're starting to see as those second and third lanes, they are starting to fizzle out. Everybody's starting to try to get into line here, get to the bottom, because they know pit stops are looming. So right now everybody's kind of starting to jockey down. We'll see probably a few decide, it's about time to make those jumps to the top. But right now, it looks like as a whole here, most of the field is staying pretty comfortable, just cruising on that inside line. So yeah, this fuel mileage strategy is going to be very interesting this next about 3 to 4 laps, I'd say. We'll get kind of a pretty quick answer what everybody's going to be doing.
Yeah, you'll be watching. I see probably the next couple laps, just 3 wide is probably going to break off here. Yep.
And there it is, yep. And you can see right there Dean rolling out of it, letting Bud slide into line here as well. So, and that's what's going to happen is these guys are going to try to find little pockets. You see Dean Wilkinson just found an opening in front of the number 33 of David Bond. Now does Dean try to see if he can build an opening for his teammate in the 6 of Bud Steele or not? Right now Bud's still sitting in that second lane, but yeah, that third lane completely gone. And there's the opening, and there goes Bud, exactly the way they wanted to have that happen. So these guys are getting ready, I think, for those pit stops. So to me, the way everybody's really starting stacked to the inside line, this tells me we are looking at a 3-stop race here. I still think there might be maybe 2, maybe 3 drivers I really think will go after this 2-stop approach. Like I said, they have to commit to it pretty much from lap 1 as Cody Nagels.
My goodness
I
gracious.
don't think there's a piece of paper that could fit between that 06 and the 9 car. That was tight, and now I think Cody's going to be very protective of trying to keep this inside line again, because you don't want to give it up right before pit stops. You want to have that number 1 pit entry there where you have nothing in front of you except clean air.
I really, really think who can make this 3 strategy. 2. I'm sorry, my apologies. 2 pit stops. Oh, we got a little bit of we got a little accent. Yep, that's. Yeah,
a stack up there, and unfortunately, as the accordion found its way back, it was the 617.
Oh, Todd Siebels. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, a couple of cars involved there. We saw the 617 come straight across the side of Robert Jordan. Robert just innocent victim there, unfortunately. Robert DuPont as well caught up in that one. Serious damage to him. And this is right as we're just about to get to that pit window, and this was definitely an accordion effect there, Matt. We could kind of see that middle... The lanes kind of stacking up. You can already see a couple down on the apron here. So you see the 59 and the 14. So we'll back it up a little further because it actually happened a little further up here. And we're going to first focus on Vicente Guerrero in the 14 because it's nothing Vicente did. But it's just this is where the accordion really kind of began. So watch the 14 in that lime green machine. You see the 62. They're reacting because the 18 of Zach Workman, he's trying to get to the top and I think roll to the back. And then the 62, Les Levy dropped down a little bit. Vicente reacted to that. And then here comes the accordion effect in the back there. You see Dean Wilkinson. He drops down low. There's the 411 into the back of the 33. The 08 then gets back into the back of the 411. And the 617 into the back of the 08.
Yeah.
And then that gets him down on the apron. And there's unfortunately, as he's trying to... Again, we're running super slow-mo, so everything's looking like it's happening way faster. And actually, it looks good for a moment... And then Robert DuPont saw the momentum kind of going to the middle there, and unfortunately he and Bob Fitzgerald, they make contact, and then that's where that initial contact happens. You see the 101 there, Randy Miner just sneaking on by, and then this is where the 617, at this point he's basically a passenger here, and unfortunately for that 74 Robert Jordan, just nothing he can do. And then, like you said, a little further back, though, it wasn't all done here because here comes the 07 right across the nose of the 45 of Todd Siebels.
Yeah, a little bit of brown stain.
Todd just sneaks by. Gabe Butler just sneaks by as well. So, unfortunately, a handful of cars involved. A handful did a great job avoiding all of that, though. But we are under yellow as the field heads onto pit road here. No strategies here. Everybody's going to be getting fuel. Maybe some 2-tire stops, maybe fuel only, and maybe some topping off on the one to go. We'll see as Eric Laurie's actually going to roll through the pits here. He's going to get a lap led doing this, Matt, and then come into pit road the second time around. So I do like this strategy from Eric. I've seen them do it from time to time here, and I think it's going to be a good one. Although, I think he needed to stay. I think he needed to stay below the.
He came back on the track. That is a.
It'll just be it should be just be an EOL, I think, just end along the line.
Yes.
So, but he has to be careful because now he's got to wait for everybody before he can hit pit road. So, this might be a little tricky for Eric. We'll watch to double check. And I think it's a similar situation here. I believe actually Randy Miner, Todd Siebels, Gabe Butler. I think they all also drove through as well. And it's going to be Cody Nagels winning the race off of pit road in the 06 car over Charles Johnson. And then we did have a few lengthy pit stops. Actually, still got a couple going here. Vicente Guerrero at almost a minute right now. Paul Turner in the 4 machine also sitting at just about a minute there as well. And then Ron Blackwell looks like he's sitting on pit road here, which actually I think Ron should have been the wave around. So that's unfortunate for Ron here in that 27. So, but yeah, looks like up front though, Randy Miner. It looks like everybody's starting to get themselves organized here. But yeah, Eric's going to probably have to drop to the bottom here and just let everybody on by, I believe. Like I said, with him kind of merging too soon there. So he's got to make sure he moves over. But he's going to have to pretty much come to a stop here and wait for these guys that are rolling off of pit road. Like I mentioned, the 14, the 4. And some of them are still sitting on pit road as the 27's rolling off. So I'm a little nervous about a potential pit penalty for the 071 because, again, iRacing's kind of a stickler for pit road penalties.
Yeah, but an unsafe, rejoin. I think, my goodness, either number one, it's into the longest line, or you're probably going to come back in under green conditions. That I don't know. I don't know.
I think the unsafe entry or exit is just end the longest line. However, passing under yellow or entering the pits, I should say, the passing under yellow, that could turn into something worse. So Eric's going to have to pretty much come to park this thing here. The question mark I have, though, is he's letting all these guys go. I don't know if he still has to let this number 27 by or not. So we'll see. As you see, he's still just kind of putting around real slowly. And we'll know for sure because if he comes to a stop here, that tells us that he's going to probably have to wait for that 27 car. Because I say, here's the 27 still rolling around here, coming through 3 and 4. And yeah, this is a stressful one for Eric right now because he's just limping. He's like, come on, where is he? And now there goes the 27. We'll watch Eric there. He's going to grab a gear and get going. Now he can finally hit pit road here. But again, he's going to now have to hustle because he's going to get to the pit road now. Pace car coming out of turn 2. He shouldn't lose the draft, but a little unfortunate though, and just unfortunate, kind of an unforced error there out of the 071.
Yeah, because remember he rolled through the pit, so he has to take on a full tank of fuel here.
Yeah, so sneaking in on the chat, we have crew chief extraordinaire Kevin Freeze, and unsafe exit is an EOL. So so that's end of longest line there for him. So
okay.
What we do have though, Matt, is we have pretty much 4 drivers not topping off. You got the 06, the 9, the 171, and the 6. 3 of the 4 of those guys are part of that Bad Company organization, and then Les Levy, the first of those that topped off on the one to go. So we are going to have a very long single file restart here because, again, that's another thing too. If you opt to go ahead and top off on the one to go, you will restart single file. So if the whole field restarts or tops off, the whole field's going to be restarting single file. So that's why we see just 2 rows doubled up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it might as well be a double IndyCar restart here. But we do have them as this caution comes out at a very interesting time because we're going to restart this thing at 27, which is right at the edge of that window we talked about for those guys trying to make it maybe 26, 27 laps on fuel. So is it maybe a one-stopper to the end? We'll have to wait and see, but we might see some 2-stop strategies here now from this point.
Look what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Gabe Butler and Lucas Vicente Guerrero on the apron of the racetrack trying to save as much fuel as they can. try and make it a two-stop race. I really think that's what Gabe's going for right now, and just the way things are going right now.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that as the field is coming to the restart zone here. This is where Cody, he's got control as early or late as he chooses to. And it looks like he is going to wait until he hits that green flag. As the flag and waves it, we are back underway here to start lap number 27. As like I said, right now Cody's going to be kind of in between a rock and a hard place here for a few laps because he is surrounded by bad company. And he's going to feel like he's in bad company right now because, like I said, he's got the 171, the 9, the 6. The only one missing from that mix is the 55 of Dean Wilkinson. So we'll see, are they going to pick on him or not? And so far, playing nice. They're going to line up behind that 06 car. But I would say once the momentum starts to shift, watch to see if these three try to jump around him and take that top spot.
Yeah, that single file restart kind of strung out the field a little bit, but it shouldn't take too long for everybody to catch back up.
Yeah, a little gap there between Vicente and Robert Jordan. Gabe's going to try to do the work to kind of shove him back to the 74. And like I said, should be no problem there. It's on, like I said, almost like an IndyCar restart. You kind of got to get the momentum back and start pulling back into it. But as I say that, though, it's kind of actually grown to about a second, but I don't have too much concern about these two. I think they'll be able to do it. And actually, yeah, it's slowing way down now. They're starting to close that gap pretty quickly on Gary Jenkins in the 90. And so, yeah, so they should be able to grab right back onto this thing here. So looks like and there it is. Let's say we looked away, and there's those three teammates there. They're going to take those top three spots, get back to the inside line. Robert Rock, Charles Johnson, Bud Steele, as they now are going to lead the way here going down the backstretch. And actually need to mention Eric Laurie on pit road, so may have got that penalty we were worried about there as he's rolling off now. And so we'll see. There's a quick stop there, so I'm not 100% sure for Eric there, but unfortunately that's going to put him right at the tail end of the lead lap, probably one lap down, and I believe we'll be in competition. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Looks like Ron Blackwell is actually 2 down in the 27 car, so Eric would be at this point the only car lap down if he does get lapped. So, but yeah, unfortunately, not sure what happened to that 071 car, but that definitely dropped him back. But look at Cody Nagels here. He restarted as the leader. He is falling back to almost outside the top 10. Hasn't found an opening yet to the bottom here. Right now, it's pretty much bottom feeding around this group here. And yeah, it looks like these guys are just, I think a lot of these guys are thinking fuel.
Yeah. You know, I'm like either like 50-50 on this one, Eric Laurie. Either that was a weird strategy call or you actually really had a stop and go penalty, but
yeah,
I'm just confused.
I'm checking with crew chief Freeze here. I say Kevin's giving us some great insight what's going on, and he got too close to the pit entry commitment line there, and so it gave him the penalty for passing entering pit road there. So unfortunately, all that waiting he did for not there. So yeah, unfortunately, a little miscue there. It's going to definitely cost him some track position. But again, though, Matt, we're not even halfway here. Lap 30 of 78, so still lots of racing to go. Lots of opportunities for Eric to get that lap back should he need it. But right now, like I said, that field is starting to close up on him as they head down the backstretch. There's Eric in that 071 John Deere Camaro. Like I said, the field's starting to kind of show up here in a big way. But again, though, they're pretty much 2x2 here at most, so Eric should be able to easily tag onto the draft here, and he'll have plenty of friends to find here very shortly as well. What I'm starting to see, though, is Team Extreme. They're starting to get lined up here a little bit, Matt. You got the 411 Tom Dixon trying to chase up to David Bond, to Doug Lemon, and that will be those three teammates maybe to try to compete with those three teammates of bad company here for the front.
Yeah, he shouldn't be too bad, Eric. He's the only one car lap down at the moment, so he should quite easily, if there does be a caution, it'd be on his side.
Yeah, this is where if I'm Eric, I go straight to the back where my buddies are, Gabe Butler, Robert Jordan, JD Crow. That's my safe spot right now. You go back to where you know those guys, you're comfortable with those guys, and you save fuel and you just take it easy. But right now up front, though, this 33, he has just been pushing and shoving that 617. He's got a nose ahead out of 3 and 4. We'll see if Doug Lemon can get this lap led coming to the start-finish line this time around, start lap 32.
But I am kind of digging the paint scheme a little bit. A little bit of Harry Gant type black scheme.
Yeah, it's a really good-looking scheme, especially in the day in the sunlight like it is right now. Got a lot of shine, definitely stands out there. Similar for the 411 behind it. A little different, but definitely some chrome on the nose of Tom Dixon. But what we do have is we got 3 teammates lined up on these 2 rows here, Matt. You've got the Bad Company on the inside. You've got Team Extreme on the outside. And they are right now leading this charge here. As right now, Doug Lemon just a nose ahead here as currently as they run here, 16 positions gained for that 617. But right now you can see, though, the 33 just kind of staying a little bit staggered off, probably trying to try to clean that nose up, get a little bit of clean air on it, cool those temps back down, and then get right back after it here. So these guys putting on a good fight here for the top spot. That time it will be Doug Lemon leading that lap, so no questions there. 617 bonus point for him as he will clear the 171. He drops to the inside in front of Robert Rock. That's going to now allow the opportunity for his teammate of David Bond. Can he make a charge back to there, get side by side with his own teammate? And so far looking good here. He's getting good momentum again. Now he's got help from his teammate Tom Dixon as they're going to again head down the backstretch. You got also the 08 of Bob Fitzgerald, who's in that last incident, used a fast repair though, Matt, and he is back at it here as well. And that's the bonus of the kind of those fast repairs. If you get caught in an incident that's not your own doing, even if it is of your own doing, you get a mulligan. You get to get back after. And I believe this season actually sitting on 2 fast repairs, so they actually get a little extra bonus as well. So that's a rule change from last season to this season. And there goes the 33. He's going to easily clear. We'll see. Do they actually both maybe try to clear and get to the bottom? And nope, just going to be David Bond, Tom Dixon now going to take over that outside lane control here in that 411.
Speaking of the 3 car numbers, it looked like Eric Laurie was trying to get his lap back the hard way.
Yeah, Eric isn't doing what I talked about. He's not just cruising to the back. Eric's thinking, you know what, I can get to the front of this field. And the one intriguing potential, though, for Eric, though, is even with what happened to him. I mean, the problem is he's a lap down. However, he pitted at lap 27 with that having to kind of pit coming to the green, whereas everybody else was pitting around 24, 25. So he does have a little more fuel potentially in that 071 car. So there's some ideas where maybe you could try to see just make that fuel number work. But Matt, look at this third lane though, Matt.
TW cars.
TW here, yeah. Jay Hilliard and the 101 of Randy Miner, they are making a big charge there as they've gotten just almost to the outside of that second lane. Haven't cleared yet. And somebody said, I've seen enough. That's Charles Johnson. He said, not ready yet.
Yep. Nope. Not. Yeah, I kind of agree with Charles here on this move. Like I said, fuel is really tight right now. But there's a couple of drivers where I like it, where they're at right now. Especially that one car, Gabe Butler. He's been fuel saving since before the restart, came in topped off, and he's just Mr. As you would say, Mr. Area 51.
Yeah, he's been pretty much a monster, like I said, this season. I mean, he's always been good, but like this season, I mean, to have 5 wins out of 6 races in the Super Speedway Series between Xfinity trucks is pretty unheard of. We've had some drivers that have had some amazing seasons. We'd have to go back and look at the stats, but yeah, we've had some really, really impressive runs, and this is definitely one of those. So the only thing, though, of course, is playoffs, Matt. I mean, after tonight, we'll be halfway through the regular season until we get to that 4-race playoff of contact to 82617.
They got it.
Good heads up there by Doug Lemon. Hung onto that car, and he will live to fight another day. And everybody else living, probably trying to catch their breath right now. But that really shook up the momentum because look on the outside line, Jay Hilliard. He will lead that lap, it looks like, at the line, but haven't been able to clear that bottom lane as of yet.
Yeah. Look at them TW drivers now, right in the second lane now. That really shook up the field now.
Yeah, field really spread out right now. Everybody's got a couple of car lengths almost between them right now. You see there's the 08 of Bob Fitzgerald. I think he might be thinking the same here. Said, you know, maybe not yet is my time to be up there. So Bob's going to roll back a couple of spots here in that 08 car. Then he's going to slide back on the apron here in a 3, which is just about the right spot to do that if he's got the space to do so. But right now, though, you got Dan Harrington, though. He's now in the middle of this Team Extreme sandwich. So he's pretty much, I think he's got to stay committed right now to that 411, though, Matt, because, like I said, if he makes a move, I don't see the 33 or the 617 going with him. So I think if you're Dan here, you just tag right onto the back of the 411 and you just kind of live here for a little while.
Yeah, you want to sit there and pretty much save fuel. let Tom burn all the fuel. Like I said, it's really tight right now. As I'm trying to figure up the numbers right now, that may be a half a lap short. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, actually, that's a good question, is to kind of do the math to see where that pit stop would need to happen to get to the end. And my very bad math abilities say probably lap 52, I think, would be coming to would be pitting with about 26, 27 to go. So
53.
So yeah, so actually you're right. I think, yeah, if you can do 53, if you pit at 53, I think that puts you on the edge of making it to the end. So it would be a long shot, but like you said, there's a lot of drivers that are definitely saving, because I say we've kind of got the Dale Jr. Pied Piper situation going on right here, because I mean, you've got pretty much the whole field here just rolling on the yellow line right now. The only one I saw pop out for a moment was Charles Johnson, who said, I rolled to the back here, but I didn't think we were going to roll single file like we are. So he's kind of hopped up top for the moment. He tucks back in line.
Nope,
so yeah, right.
Look at the move by Dan Harrington.
And look at him be by himself until he's going to finally get some help from Randy Minor.
Maybe.
But you're not, 33-6, I mean, they're not going to go with him. There's no question there. Oh, actually, Randy's going to go for the top side. Didn't expect to see
didn't
that.
Like that. Wow. Okay. Dan slid down to the bottom. Yeah, that's
that's the only thing Dan can do at that point. Yeah, so he's going to slide back to fourth. It looked like the 101 was going to try to make a move with Jay Hilliard. It looks like now they are going to try to make that move. But like I said, they haven't rebuilt the momentum yet. But that was exactly what we thought was going to happen there, Matt. Dan jumped to the top side, tried to make a move, tried to see if he can make that pass, get a lap led in the 82. And the teammates of Team Extreme said, yeah, we're going to stick with our teammate there of Tom Dixon and say nothing personal for Dan, but yeah, we're going to hang out to dry. Sorry, buddy.
I was trying to look and see. Look at this teamwork in the back. Look at Guerrero, Gabe Butler, the 5 car. Look at the top lane, just trying to form up here.
Yeah, they're starting to pick it up here, Matt. So again, you talk about the fuel savings. So this obviously will burn some fuel here, and you can see as they've started to form that lane, more and more drivers starting to get interested. You see, again, everybody's going to want to lead the second line. So right now you see, the 07 there, he actually slides back in.
Really close.
A big slide there for a couple of guys. You can see the flames coming out. Some drivers having to lift off the throttle there. It looks like Gabe's going to work his way up, probably pick up that number 9 of Charles Johnson. And I think we're going to see these guys start to make some moves. But right now up front, though, the TW group, they've regrouped here, Matt. They're starting to make another charge here as they've gotten alongside that 411 of Tom Dixon. They're putting an attack on Team Extreme here as they head into 3.
Right now, I'm looking at a full-blown attack by, looks like Charles Johnson's running the top lane.
Oh, yeah, here they come. Charles Johnson leading the field.
I'm just wondering, when are they going to get there? And when they do get there, what is their move with these TW cars up in the second lane?
I mean, I think you just got to go where the momentum takes you, so we'll see if that's going to be the case or not. Or is it just, hey, I want to get some better track position?
Charles Johnson elects to drop to the low side.
Yeah, we'll see. Charles might just be trying to steal a little bit of draft from Eric. Maybe he'll pop up again. We'll see. But right now, looks like he's pretty content there. Yeah, he's going to stay locked in line there. So, unfortunately, do need to mention one that lost the draft here. Again, may have missed something, unfortunately. But Ivan Deschamps, he is off on his own in the 019 car. And he's about a full straightaway back from these guys. So, unfortunately for Ivan, he's going to have to hope for a caution to bring him back into the mix here. And we got one that's having a little connectivity hiccup there, the 617 for a moment of Doug Lemon. Looks like it's kind of solidified itself once more. But yeah, you can see now the 06 Cody Nagels, he drops back down low as well.
Look at Gabe.
Yep,
look at Gabe.
Gabe's decided he's done waiting.
Yep. I think Gabe is pretty much content right now. I think he's made his number now.
And that's the question is, is this a, hey, I got my field number, or is it a, hey, we can't make this on one more stop, so might as well just get to the front and control this thing? But I'm a little surprised to see, as I really thought we'd see the 18 of Zach Workman go up to the third lane with him, but looks like Zach's actually, he's going to, he's going to go with his teammates tonight. Zach working with the 06 and the number, where did Vicente's number? 14 car, sorry.
14.
Working on numbers here. We'll get there.
You're good.
But actually, in Vicente's, he's at the back of this main draft here. So right now, though, we're back to 3x3. You got Gabe Butler, JD Crow, Dean Wilkinson on the outside. Middle lane, those TW teammates of Randy Minor and the 59 of Jay Hilliard. Looks like the 90 of Gary Jenkins starting to kind of tag onto this group as well, debating between top or bottom, and these guys all competed against those Team Extreme drivers on that inside lane.
This ain't the Vicente Guerrero that I'm used to. This is a conservative Guerrero here. I'm quite interested to see what his game plan is toward the end of the race.
Yeah, it's intriguing to see for sure. Look at this move by the teammates in unison there. They both are able to clear each other. They go straight to the bottom. And unfortunately for Dean Wilkinson, kind of left with the bill there in that number 55. Now he's going to have to wait for his teammate there, Charles Johnson, who is pretty much in hot pursuit there. He's going to get right back to him here. And then you see actually JD, he decides actually he's going to hop to the middle lane here. So you got some boot knockers controlling now the front 2 lanes. As I say that though, there goes JD back to the point on the inside line. And yeah, whatever kind of calmness we had there for a few laps, Matt, running single file, it looks like that's long and over.
Yeah, that is long and done. You know, I think I kind of inspired that 14 car, but he's a lone car up toward that second lane there.
Yeah, now it's just whether or not Vicente can pick up enough tow to start pulling himself forward. However, we see Randy Miner and Jay Hilliard now. They've taken the point with those 2 TW cars, so they made a big charge there as well. You see also the 90 Gary Jenkins. He's worked his way back up, and yeah, there's Vicente. He's already found his way to that second line here. So the question I do have here, Matt, is the way these guys are racing to me kind of still says a lot of them are thinking it's going to be a 2-stopper no matter, or yeah, 2-stopper to the end no matter what.
Yeah.
So do we see strategy here with maybe some drivers opting to pit early and try to kind of split the other teams up, or basically he's like, okay, I'm going to pit with my 2, 3, 4 teammates, whatever it may be. If we nail our pit stops, we can make some really good time together. Maybe we can break away for the draft. So it's going to be fun to see what those strategies are going to be. As you see Jay Hilliard clears that inside lane. He goes to the bottom. But now look at Todd Siebel's, Dean Wilkinson. They found each other here.
Where did he come from?
Add Charles Johnson to the mix as well, and Charles is going to latch right onto them as well. And yeah, this whole thing is everybody's starting to jockey for positions here, and we're pretty much single file again. But look at these top 3; they clear that number 59.
Wow,
that's a big move for those 3 drivers to do so. And once again, though, this time it's Robert Jordan that is the one that's kind of hung out here in that 74, and he's got to be careful here. Oh man, Vicente just squeezing in front of that 5 car. And now, unfortunately, Robert Jordan all alone up top here. He's just going to have to hope that somebody wants to let him in somewhere in this pack.
Well, Gael, guess what? We're back single file again.
And I think here's the opening for the 74. Yep, there he goes, right in front of the 411. There, it was close, but he had to take the opportunity, Matt. Otherwise, he was going to fall back into the 20s. So that was pretty much the only opportunity for Robert there. So, Matt, new leader, Todd Siebels, 26 positions gained from his starting spot.
Wow.
I say Todd Siebel's doing Todd Siebel things as they just kind of been waiting, found the right time to make his moves. And it looks like, and there he goes. I think he got the lap he wanted to lead. He said, all right, go on back by here, guys. And actually, no, it looks like he's going to try to get back in line here, I believe. Yep, there he goes right in front of Jay Hilliard. So I think he wants to be right with his teammates of TW here. So you see right there, the 59, the 101 right behind him. They are teammates officially in this race of Jay Hilliard, Randy Miner, Todd Siebels. Dean Wilkinson, Charles Johnson, of course, teammates as well with Bad Company. So teammates are starting to find each other here as we get towards this potential final pit stop. As next time by, Matt, we're going to be at 30 to go.
Yeah, I was looking at Todd Siebel's car. He's got a slight little crinkle on the front of the hood. Maybe that was the reason why he dropped back, because he's just a tad damaged up here.
Yeah, you're right. Just a little crinkle in the nose. Not too bad. I am starting to see some Limitless drivers start to work the top here. I see the 18, the 06, they've locked onto each other. So watch for the momentum to shift, because once they get closer, I would go out on a very, very short limb and say Vicente's going to hop up and try to pick those 2 up along with them. So watch for that 14 car here, because he's just a few car lengths ahead of him. But also I'm watching Vicente. He's actually building a pretty big gap in front of him too. Maybe actually going to try to let them slot in line in front. He's really backing this pack down right now. I think that's exactly what we're seeing here. Vicente's trying to roll this pack down a little slower. There goes one of them in. Haven't been able to get Cody in.
You left Cody out.
Oh, they'll get Cody in. There he goes. But yeah, that's, again, the pace is really slowing down. These guys there's definitely a lot of teamsmanships going on here. A lot of gamesmanship going on, trying to get these teammates lined up here. And that's slowing the pace of this race. The last time by, Matt, they ran 51:19
Wow, that's
2
slow.
seconds slower than some of the fastest laps of the race tonight. So the pace has definitely dropped, and when the pace drops like that, you have nothing to suspect other than these guys are going to try to make it to the end of one more stop. I mean, you know the pace is slow because Les Levy, he is passing cars with no problems by himself right now. Just kind of trying to keep him a little bit pinch steal, a little side draft if he can. But look at Les here just working himself there up on the zone. Again, no help here, but that's just how much these guys have backed it down here as he's worked his way up to about the 6th, 7th position here. But again, though, this time, I don't know if he's got any teammates to try to steal draft from. I actually see Jay Hilliard drift up just a tiny bit there. That gave Les a little draft there, pull him up a little closer, and that's going to continue to let him gain some ground here as he's now side by side for 5th.
So right now, my target number would be 53. So right now, we're going to start lap 51 here. Who has saved enough fuel? That's my next question.
This is intriguing. Yeah, right now it looks like everybody's thinking fuel mileage at this point. And yeah, need to mention one of the fastest cars on track last time by is that car by himself, Les Levy, a 50-23 to Dean Wilkinson's 50-77. So like I said, it's very interesting how things are kind of rolling right now. And you can see again the field just, I mean, you've got just a line here front to back here, and these guys are all thinking one stopper to the end, it looks like. But that's the thing too, Matt, is this, if this stays green, they're gonna have to do this twice. Well, here they come. Actually, no, this is gonna be Charles Johnson, Dean Wilkinson. They're gonna hit pit road coming at 52. It's a hot entry, really hot entry behind him. Oh, the 74, too hot on entry there. He's going to miss the commitment cone, so that's going to be a penalty for the 74 for an unsafe entry, unfortunately. You got Team Extreme in as well, but Steele's in there, the 08. But now everybody's got to get themselves sorted here and make sure they don't step on each other's toes into their pit stalls. Looks like job done there. And now Todd Siebel's going to be leading this pack here. As like you said, Matt, you said 53 is, you think, the magic number here.
That's
this
53.
This would be coming to 53 this time by. So now do we see anybody else maybe try to go even one extra to 54? We'll wait and see as they come out of 3 and 4 this time by.
Yeah, I'm watching the 74. Just, it's a tough break for Robert there.
And it looks like the answer is going to be 3 cars going to go long here, 4 cars possibly. As here's the 45. It looks like they all cleanly get onto pit road. And you called it, Matt. J.D. Crow, Gary Jenkins, Gabe Butler. They're going for the fuel mileage here. They saved, and they're going to try to go one extra lap. And if they can get this and not lose too much track time, they will have so much more fuel to play with on that final run up to the end. If we stay green here, because they will be pitting with 25 to go this next time by, this will allow them a lot more wiggle room to be aggressive and not have to do any fuel savings at the end. And also, I'm not going to count Eric Laurie out of this thing either. Again, he's a lap down, yes. Yeah. But if he can pit with his teammates here and get in a good spot right now, in which here he comes, he's going to catch right back onto him. And so we'll see here as they're all going to start rolling on the pit road now.
Yeah, they hit their magic number. That's it.
So that's going to complete our cycle here, Matt. So we'll have to wait for everybody to cycle through completely as everybody's going to try to find their stalls here. But right now, you got... Look at the teammates here, Limitless, Zach Workman, Cody Nagels, and Vicente Guerrero. They've gotten their pit stops done to perfection. They've hooked up, and they are putting down some lap times right now, trying to see if they can break this field apart right now. But I don't think they're going to be able to break Todd Siebel's.
Look. Oh, wow. Charles Johnson just got in the back of the 45 there. He had so much more momentum.
And that's exactly it. So here's coming out of pit road, though. This is going to be tough because, unfortunately, the Bootknockers, they have separated themselves pretty significantly. You see Gabe, here he comes. He's getting up to speed. But there goes the field here already swinging on by. So for Gabe here, he needs to be able to tag onto this back of the draft here, which I believe is going to be Bob Fitzgerald, if I'm not mistaken, is kind of the last cart in this pack here. So there's Bob. He's going to go by. I think Gabe's going to have enough momentum here by that time to tag onto the back of them. So I think they'll hold this main draft. So the question mark now is who can make it to the end. Charles Johnson pitted at 51. Dean Wilkinson 51. Zach Workman, Cody Nagels, and Vicente Guerrero pitted at 52. And then, like we mentioned, though, is at 53 is when Gabe and company pitted there. So like I said, I feel like advantage is going to that number 1 machine. But right now, though, they're starting to kind of drift off the back of that pack here. Gabe's going to have to hustle back up to the 16 and Jimmy Crow Jr., Bob Fitzgerald. But then, unfortunately, he has left his teammates behind. Here you see Gary Jenkins in second and a half back, J.D. Crow, who does have help from Eric Laurie. So this is going to be tight, but we'll keep an eye on them. But right now, Matt, we got to go back up front because we are 2 by 2. Looks like about 14 cars in this lead pack. But we do not know the fuel mileage. Can any of these guys make it to the end as they run currently?
Wow. I'm looking at the gap between Gabe Butler, Gary Jenkins, J.D. Crow, and Eric Laurie. I know how it feels like for Gabe having a great pit stop and just.
And unfortunately, Gabe has lost them. So you see the 08 and the 16, they've caught back up, but in the process, they have lost the 1 car. So now the 1 car, he's going to have to back it down to his teammates here of Gary Jenkins. And so you got his 3 teammates there lined up with each other. But again, we'll see, because at some point these guys are going to start to race really aggressively, really hard here for the potential win of this race. But again, if they start racing each other too hard, Matt, they might run themselves out of fuel, so that could even just open the door back up for the 1, the 90, and the 5. So we'll wait and see. We're still waiting. The 1 still trying to get caught up to these guys. And I've been watching. Actually, you know what? He is starting to regain track position on that number 08 car. So I'm not counting this 1 out yet. I think he still has a chance of catching these guys, because it's slowly but surely saying we're actually going to pull up our ticker. We're going to look at the last lap time here. We'll look at those leaders here. As you see, Zach Workman still our leader. As he goes by, it was a 50.86 for him. Gabe Butler, a 50.23.
He gained 7/10 that last lap. Yeah, he's got the draft now.
He is there. So he thought he was out of it. He was able to get just enough sniff of a draft there. Not sure from where, but he got it. And he is back in the mix. And now he's probably going to go back down to fuel saving mode again, because he had to run real hard to catch those guys. But he is back in this main pack, so great job by Gabe to get there. But the problem he has now is he is a lonely driver. No teammates in this pack with him. But you can see he's already starting to move towards the top here, thinking this might be his opportunity to try to do something, get some ground now. So we'll see, because we're coming around here, Matt. It's going to be 21 to go.
Look at him. He's in the third lane by himself.
Third lane, Gabe Butler by himself. No friends yet. But it's only a matter of time. It's like when you've got a driver that's won 2 out of 3 races, there's a good chance someone's going to go with you. And I'm watching Jimmy Crow, and yeah, I had a feeling it's going to be too tempting for Jimmy not to take it. Yeah, and there he goes.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it either, because these guys up here,
they're running a field
pace.
They've backed the pace down. You're right. They're running 51-second laps right now.
Gabe can make it. Yeah, he's good.
So this is interesting, Matt, because the way they run right now, like you said, and this again for Gabe now, he's kind of forcing the pace of this race. And actually, here comes a few drivers. This is our answer to our question. They decided, hey, we can't make it. We're going to come in now. Bud Steele just gets it in. So they decided they're going to pit early here, get that splash of fuel, and make it to the end. So we'll see how it all shakes out right now. But right now, we've still got the Limitless team there, kind of controlling the inside and the middle. And so you see Gabe trying to see if he can sneak down a little bit, but I think those guys are trying to keep him pinned to that third lane as they run here. Limitless guys trying to control the kind of the pace of this race here. But like I said, Gabe, I think he's got to force this pace of the race to speed up a little bit, because that's going to help his chances to kind of force them to run themselves out of fuel while battling for him for the win.
I don't like this call by those teammates that pitted right there. I really think that they should stay with that draft right there until in case the yellow does come out, so that way you don't put yourself behind there. It's a fine line, yes, I know, but I don't like it.
It's going to be very intriguing. And the other thing we got to mention, though, Matt, is remember we're talking about teammates? Here they are, the 90, the 5, the 071. They've caught this group as well. Again, we're talking about the pace being so slow. So here comes Gary Jenkins, J.D. Crow, and Eric Laurie. And I'm going to go on a very short limb. Watch them go to the third lane. Yep, there they go. That is going to give this 1 car a big boost here in speed. And this is going to open the opportunity. The one thing I was going to mention, though, for the short pit strategy by Charles Johnson, Bud Steele and Company, they will be able to basically, if there's a late yellow that forces green-white checkered, with their extra stop of fuel now, they should be able to stay out. So if there's a late yellow, they could actually cycle around everybody on pit road. So that's the benefit of maybe pitting under green versus yellow. So we'll see. Right now it's Cody Nagels, Gabe Butler leading that middle and the outside lanes. You see on the inside, Zach Workman just trying to lead this inside lane here. Like I said, I think the 06s and the 14 are trying to, like I said, they're still running a number to try to make it on fuel, but still also trying to run just hard enough to keep that one behind them. So, but I think it's going to be for naught because Gabe's got a great push out of 2 courtesy of the 16 car. And there he goes right in front of the 06 there, and he takes over the point here as they head into 3.
Wow. What a turn of events. Jeez. My Lord.
But you see right
it's
there,
good to be back.
yeah, Gabe gets to the inside there. He went to the bottom, and Cody decided he said I got to stay top or stay out to the outside of Gabe, and so now Gabe's got Zach Workman as his pusher. Zach's been kind of just leading on his own here, but also can't ignore Tom Dixon. He's starting to roll himself back into the mix in this 411 car as well. So this is all to play for. Vicente late move there just in front of the 1 car. These guys are giving themselves no margin of error. As there goes Vicente, he's going to jump in front of his teammate here. As now Gabe's going to go back to the inside here. He's got the 18, and Zach Workman still working with him. But I'm waiting for that 3rd lane. That push is going to happen here, and it's going to open the door for Jimmy Crow to make a charge as well. So this is, if we can stay green for, 16 and a half more laps here, this is going to be a very interesting finish to who can make it, who can't. And then for those that can make it, who will be the one to come out on top.
Got me intrigued.
Yep. So right now, Matt, we have 16 cars in this lead pack from Vicente Guerrero, Gabe Butler, back to Robert DuPont. Unfortunately, those that lost the draft, including Dan Harrington. And then you got those that pitted a little earlier, like Charles Johnson, Bud Steele, and Robert Rock. They sit there. Again, they're still on the lead lap here. They're obviously a fair bit back. However, they said they give themselves some wiggle room on field because the way they're running up front here, again, if there's a yellow, and depending on if and when the yellow is, it could open up some opportunities for these guys to have to come into pit road for that green, white, checkered fuel mileage. So that could be the opportunity that those 3 drivers are looking for. So it's definitely a gamble, Matt. That's what these races are. I mean, we see it in NASCAR too, where the manufacturers, they kind of just pit together sometimes. And I'd say that's kind of what we have here at Area 51 with these teams as well. So, but right now though, you got Limitless there, 1406 leading that middle lane. You got Jimmy Crow Jr. leading the outside lane, Gabe Butler on the inside lane, and at this point, it's anybody's guess as we got 15 to go.
Man, I'm just, well, I see a couple of lap cars ahead. Looks like they're going to dive to the bottom of the racetrack here.
Yeah, and unfortunately with them running 3x3, that's usually seems to be the general protocols to kind of take the apron to let the field them by. And at Talladega, it's definitely a much easier option to have than at Daytona with the way these cars are so different on the banking. But we do have right now, it's going to get a little tight because we got 1 up top, 1 on the bottom. That's the exact opposite of what the leaders are looking for.
Oh, boy.
And so this is in the tribal, so it may just work out here. Say the openings happen just in the perfect timing there. But yeah, that was the opposite of what the leaders were looking for. They want them both to be doing the same thing there. And so you had 1 top, 1 bottom, but it looks like everybody's going to get away with it. But that was definitely a moment for those leaders here.
And like you talked about earlier, that top lane is more wider than the actual whole track.
Yeah, they're definitely glad they caught him there in the trial for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the 53 lap hitters like Gabe and JD and company. Lap 52, I think, is another one to mention. We talked about Vicente and Cody. They've led a lot, though, since pitting at lap 52. Same for Zach Workman. So then you go back a couple more cars. You got the 68 of David Overstreet. He's on the outside line behind the 90 car. You've got the number 30, the 45 of Todd Siebel's also pitting at 52. I kind of like where Todd is. He's been able, I feel like, to save a lot this run here, just also on the inside line. And another one as well as Les Levy and then number 52, Randy Miner in the 101. These guys all pitted at lap number 52. So, again, it's tighter for sure for them than like a Gabe Butler and company. But I think it could still be a good potential for these guys. So, I think the one thing that Gabe doesn't have going for him, though, is he's got one of the Limitless guys behind him in that 18 of Zach Workman. So, And again, for Zach here, it's probably in his best interest to try to save fuel behind that one car and not kind of just shove him right now, because again, he pitted one lap earlier than Gabe. So he was leading for a while there too, Matt. So he's gonna probably need to back his pace down, save a little bit of fuel there, and then maybe we'll see make that late charge we've also seen before. It's sometimes in your best interest not to push a competitor harder than your own teammates who are lined up to your outside line. So this is gonna get intriguing for sure. So we don't know who's gonna be the one to have the mileage to make the right moves at the right time, but right now it's kind of a highway logjam we've got right now going on at about 180, 190 miles an hour.
There's one person out of that line that kind of scares me right now. Is probably that 071. If I was Eric Laurie, I would back it off in case there's a late race caution. That way he can get his lap back.
Yeah,
because right now where he's at in that top third lane, you know how accidents go.
Straight to the top.
Always straight to the top, and he's right in that top lane. If I was him, I would jump straight to the back.
And we'll see if he might still consider it once things get a little bit dicey. Right now he's got Dean Wilkinson right there as well behind him. Dean actually no, you know what, Matt? He can't roll back because right now for the Lucky Dog position,
whoa, really?
You've got Eric Laurie right there, currently the Lucky Dog.
You're right.
But Dean Wilkinson, Robert Jordan, they're both right there. So any bobble by Eric, and that could put Dean in the catbird seat. So
Dean is right beside him too.
So yeah, that's why Eric came back in. Oh, I think we got a little bit of connection hiccup there for Jimmy Crow Jr. You can see that third lane's kind of disappeared from that. So we're back to single file, and while that all happened, that's actually moved Gabe Butler just a little bit further forward in that number one car. Nothing clear by any chance, but definitely starting to just get him nose ahead. Before he was kind of next to Cody or so. But we're down to 10 to go here. Now it's going to be JD Crow leading that third lane. He was kind of the one who was pushing Jimmy Crow Jr. So now we'll see just Team Extreme. I kind of thought they might try to be the ones that jump to the top there, but I believe Team Extreme pitted at lap 51, Matt. So I think those guys cannot risk the top side. I think they need to continue to save here until maybe about 2-3 to go, and then they say, all right, now we'll just go for broke.
Man, oh man.
So right now up front, go ahead, Matt.
I'm sorry. The real question is with Vicente Guerrero pitting a lap earlier than Gabe Butler, and him running out in front like pretty much the longest out of everybody. Does he have enough fuel?
It's going to be tight because for a little while Vicente was the one pushing Cody, and then they switched, and then Cody started pushing Vicente. So they've kind of alternated a little bit over the course of this run. So you wonder if maybe Vicente said, okay, I'm in my number, I'm good to go to the end, and then said, okay, let's switch. And then Cody's he's working his fuel number to the end. Again, this is all unfortunately, we don't have the telemetry. We don't know what kind of numbers these guys are having. So we're just kind of speculating at this point. But like I said, what we do know though for sure is those two cars that are kind of sandwiching them right now, the 1 and the 5, they did go a lap later. But also though, we still have to mention though, that 5 car, he had to work really hard to catch the draft. So did the 1 car. They were on the outside looking in. They weren't able to just kind of tag in line there. So it's not solidified yet for any of these guys. But like I said, pitting with 25 to go, I definitely feel a lot better for the 1 and the 5 than I do for the 14, the 06. But again, it's not going to matter because we got contact in the back. No. The 90 up and over, actually still pointing straight. We may stay green.
Yep,
and that is going to be a heartbreaker for those that were trying to save it. But actually, we're not done yet. 68, he's spinning around there in the apron. And I think he's going to keep it straight too. So we do stay green there, surprisingly. Unfortunately, contact there. Going to take a couple guys out. Again, this split the fields up here a ton, Matt. And so now you've got pretty much about an 11-car main pack now. So we'll see how this comes into play. But we'll try to go back real quick here so we can spot what happened here. Is it happened towards the main pack there? It was around Gary Jenkins, I believe. So let's go back. Oh, it already happened there. So let's back it up a little further. Apologies. So we're watching the 24 and the 30, or sorry, the 16 and the 33. And, 16 just comes down a little bit there, catches the 33, and then he comes right back up into the 90 of Gary Jenkins, just no fault of his own. And that's the same for the 68 there. And we talked about the cautions maybe not coming out and some guys unfortunately hurting from it. That's Gary Jenkins, and that's the 68 there of David Overstreet, unfortunately. And actually, it looks like the 019 as well there. So, yeah, tough breaks for those guys. We'll jump back live here, jump back to the pack as it still sits 3x3. Again, sandwich still continues there between Gabe Butler on the inside, JD Crow on the outside, Vicente Guerrero leading that middle lane as we're down to 6 to go here at the line. But what that did do, though, for Eric Laurie, though, Matt, is now he's pretty safely right now the first car one down by about a second over Robert Jordan. However, Robert does have help here from the 08 car of Bob Fitzgerald. And actually, this is Bob here. Bob's trying to get himself back in this race, too, Matt. He pitted at 51 there, but he's still in the lead lap. So Bob's trying to hustle himself back up to have a chance at this because no spoilers on the Cup race, but a certain winner, well, what almost became a certain winner due to rain and red flag conditions, was basically the one that avoided the wreck there. So we'll see if that comes into play here tonight as well. But what we do know, Matt, is this time around, 5 to go here at Talladega.
Don't get me started on that guy up.
No spoilers. That's what we're here for.
I'm not going to say anything.
All right, Matt, though, 5 to go. Bob Fitzgerald, he is back in this pack, so great job by Bob there. Also, a great job at 74 of Robert Jordan. So now Eric Laurie's got to be concerned about the 74 because that's now the lucky dog battle between the two of them. But right now, like I said, it's still all to play for here. But again, I look at the organization here, and right now, the only two that are official teammates that are locked on together are the 14 and the 06. The 1 and the 18 are not. The 5 and the 62 are not. So it's just you don't know which one's going to be the advantage to take here. So this is going to be intriguing to see who's going to make the right calls and where's the right place to go. But again, I mean, you're kind of, slight contact with the 14 and the 5. They're kind of starting to try to fight for that real estate here. And you know that's going to, I say again, heat of the moment situations. The 5 probably will be a little bit upset there for a little bit, feeling like maybe the 15 trying to squeeze them a bit. But that's going to cost him a lot of track position here. He's going to have to try to regroup and make another charge here. But does this open up an opportunity for Tom Dixon? Maybe try to see if he can clear the 5, get to the top. That's not going to happen. The 5 already getting the momentum built back up on that third lane. And he's already side by side with that 14 as they head back into 3 here, coming to 3 to go.
Man, oh man. What a race. I kind of like... Man, oh man. It's like the 1 and the 18 were teammates last year, correct?
I believe so, yeah. And that's something I'm still trying to figure out. So Zach has been kind of in between a rock and a hard place here. As you see a couple lap cars coming up, they go straight to the apron there. Again, great respect there. I believe Robert DuPont the first of those, and then David Overstreet in the 68. So again, love the respect by these guys to try to let these guys race it on out there. So they'll continue on their way here. But right now, Gabe's got a nose ahead. And at some point, do you wonder too, Matt, if Gabe can clear the 14 car, does he consider jumping in front of the 14 of Vicente Guerrero to maybe try to slow that middle lane down, or maybe even get to the third lane to pick up his teammate of JD Crow? Because you know how well teammates work with one another here. I'd be interested to see if the one at some point tries to make a move, because like I said, he's at this point as the leader, you're kind of at the mercy of those behind you for how far forward you can go. So, but you can see the pushing and shoving.
Les Levy is
Oh no, Les is on
Les Levy. Yep, Les Levy is pushing the 11. You know what? The 5 car. Almost made contact with Cody Nagels.
I say it's about time to go. I mean, we're 2 to go here. So again, the way it works, though, Matt, we talked about those potential green-white checkers. These guys are all tight on fuel, so they have to get to the start-finish line to get that white flag, and then it would be an official race. If they can't, if the yellow comes out through 3 and 4, even through the tri-oval, it will wind up being overtime with 3 potential attempts. So right now, again, you see Gabe just a nose ahead there. Just actually clears the 14, but right now staying committed to the inside line, though. So, again, right, we were talking about, does Gabe maybe go middle? Does he go top and maybe try to change the momentum a little bit? But it looks like he's going to stay committed to that yellow line with that 18 behind him. But it looks like we're going to get here, Matt. 1 to go. Will it be Gabe Butler, Vicente Guerrero, JD Crow, or will someone else be able to spoil the show? Do they have the fuel to make it to the end? This is going to be fun as we get here through 1 and 2 for the final time.
Oh, man, look at JD Crow. He is pinching the 06. I mean, watch the run on the backstretch. I'm curious how much momentum the 14 or the 5's getting.
Yeah, you
The
see the
14,
18
the
is.
14. Look at the 14. He's cleared the run, but he's sticking with his teammate.
Oh no, yeah, Cody's not going to get off his teammate here, but you're right though. The inside line's really started to fizzle out there. Not sure if it's just maybe the 18's push just isn't where it needs to be, but now the 1's starting to surge again. Oh, we got one. We got a motor pop to Vicente's motor. He's gone. That's going to lose draft in the middle lane.
No.
Now it's the battle for the win here. The 1, the 16, the 5. Looks like at the line it's going to be tight, but I believe it's going to be JD Crow getting the win here at Talladega over Gabe Butler and Les Levy. We'll go back here and take one more look a little slower there, Matt, because it's unfortunately Vicente pushed his teammate for all he was worth there, but unfortunately the motor Cody pushed his teammate for all he was worth, but unfortunately the engine just let go just a couple hundred feet before he was hoping for. And then you also see Vicente there, just a little bit of contact with the 18 there. Everybody's trying to squeeze each other as they come through the start-finish line. But then as they come across, you see the 18, you see the 62 of Les Levy trying to get the late momentum there. And it actually looks like Les gives the 5 just a little tiny nudge there at the end. And here's the run to the line. And there it is by about a nose. Wow. JD Crow over Gabe Butler over Les Levy. And then for that 5th position, it looks like, or for 4th position, sorry, it's the 18 of Zach Workman over Vicente Guerrero and Jimmy Crow Jr. But man, that was some tough racing there to the very end. And yeah, great job for all those guys. And I think, like I said, I feel like that Les Levy may have gave JD just that little extra shot there coming to the start finish line. I think that may have been just the extra little oomph that JD needed to get the win here this evening.
Yeah, that was crazy finish. I really, you know what? I was looking at that last lap, and I was watching Cody the whole time. I was looking at his teammate pushing him back to the start finish line so he can finish the race. but anyway, I was watching Cody that last couple of laps, and looks like he was waiting and waiting and waiting until that last lap so he can push him the whole entire time. But I'm really surprised that motor popped. I really think that it wasn't that hot.
Yeah, I mean, they were working hard, so we'll find out. We'll get some info from some of these drivers, and we're going to start off with our 3rd place finisher, which will be the number 62 of Les Levy. Saying this will be fun because also one of our sponsors for the league as well with Levy Designs. And Les, it's a really good looking paint scheme tonight, and it was looking really good for you tonight, having a great chance there at the end. You were just shoving JD for all he was worth there, and it looks like, honestly, I think that little bump you gave him just before the start-finish line may have been what he needed to propel himself to the win there. Take us through the race there, because, first of all, the fuel mileage, I think that was probably the story of the night, where right on the edge of 2 stops, 3 stops, and then the caution comes out right before the first stop, and then it's right on the absolute edge of fuel mileage. How hard was it to just run that number exactly to perfection there tonight?
Oh yeah, fuel mileage was key. I actually thought we were going to be about a half a lap short. Gabe and his boys ran that extra lap. Usually if Gabe's running an extra lap, your boys makes you nervous, but kept talking with Jimmy and Robert and Overstreet and said, we just got to milk it up there, wait for the last moment, and may not be able to run up front, but we'll push somebody to win.
And that's exactly what you're able to do. But you also had to kind of make a regroup there. So I think it was about 2 or 3 to go there. A little bit of contact between the 14 and the 5. You kind of lost about 2 to 3 rows there, and then you had to make that late charge back to get back up there. Was that one of those things where almost dropping a few spots back maybe helped you guys? Because it seemed like once you dropped those, just like that car length or 2, it really kind of the momentum shifted right back to your favor, where you guys were just on a charge. Or is that just you guys saying okay, let's get that stuff back? And because that was a really big move there at the end to get back to the front to have a chance at it.
Yeah, I think you're thinking just let's go get it back. Let's charge. You're frustrated. I think the reality is, like you said, it probably helps you a bit. Right, you got to throttle it so it cools off a little bit, but you probably aren't thinking about cooling it. But hey, these things come to you sometimes they don't. So you take what you get.
Yeah, I will say it was a great result for you tonight. Like I said, just a couple hundredths off there, but a great push. I say able to help JD get the win tonight. And I say obviously, of course, the great associates there helping out with the league with Levy Designs as well. So I say this is definitely your time to shine. I say you can kind of pitch your products. Anybody you want to thank, shout out. Like I said, the floor is yours for whatever you want to do here, sir.
Yeah, well, first you got to thank all the guys that run this league, Charles and all them. Area 51 kind of spun out of the old Crow's Nest boys. They've done an amazing job, multiple nights, multiple leagues, lots going on. It's fantastic to see. Probably the first time since that's been formed I've been able to run with them. So thanks to those guys, all you guys up at the booth, GWC TV, got to love what you do, right? Makes it exciting for the guys not on the racing. Got to thank Checker Flag Motorsports, David Overstreet, the owner, and of course the boys in the paint shop at Levy Design. So you'd be good. And last of all, let's not forget the Ricky Bobby Foundation for people challenged to go fast. They do all kinds of great work across the country.
There were definitely a lot of people trying to go fast tonight, and you were one of those tonight. And yeah, I've always loved the stuff you put on your car. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, so definitely if you're looking for paint schemes, I'll say look for Les. So you can find him on Levy Designs on Facebook. So I'll say maybe I'll have to hit you up one of these days, Les. I've been trying to kind of catch all these guys and kind of take advantage of all your services. So maybe I'll try to get in touch with you one of these days. But yeah, great job tonight, man.
Appreciate you. We'll put you right on the top of the list. We'll tell the other guys to go wait.
Sounds good. So that's high praise there, man. That's what's being a broadcaster is all about, man. Preferential treatment.
Absolutely, man.
Darn. All right,
guys, be safe, be good.
Take care,
you
sir.
too, buddy.
All right, that is Les Levy. That's we got to get Les Levy in this top three more. He is a fun interview. Someone who is not a one that is unfamiliar with interviews is the number one of Gabe Butler. Gabe, I don't know, man. Oh, really? You're gonna finish second by what was that? About a hood there at the end?
Yeah, I got to quit now.
Yeah, I say that. I guess the streak is over, but I mean, oh no, second place. But this was an interesting one tonight. The timing of the first yellow, we talked about. I mean, we talked pre-race as well. We were kind of in the same discussions. Like, okay, 2-stopper, 3-stopper. It's going to be interesting to see what the right call is. And then the big move, of course, and then, of course, the caution coming out right at the pit stop window. Then it's even tighter, it looked like, to make it on one stop to the end. But then you guys stretched it one extra lap than the rest of the field, but then you kind of had to chase them back down there. But you could see the pace was so much slower. Like I said, you were about a second and a half back, but you still caught them. I mean, once you saw that, and then you see you like passing them 3 wide there on your own for a few laps, were you feeling pretty good? It's like, yeah, they're not going to have the feel, or if they do, they're just going to have to really kind of back down their pace, and this is going to open up the door for me.
Yeah, I think they slowed it down enough, though. I mean, for a single car to go 3 wide and move around some cars by yourself up there, something's up. So, I mean, I think most of them might have been throttling it a little bit and saving, and I think they saved enough by the time I got up there. So, I really thought Vicente might be in trouble, but I guess he swapped it with Cody there at one point, and they swapped back and forth, and they were able to save it and have enough to get around. So, I mean, good job on their part.
And then, of course, you get to the inside line there. It was very interesting. Nobody really wanted to run the inside. You were on the third lane. We saw Vicente and Cody. They were just kind of living in the middle lane there, which we see from time to time. But this one, that was kind of where they wanted to be. But then you look behind you, and it's a teammate you've worked with before, but it looks like this season working with Limitless over there with Vicente and Cody of Zach Workman there. Like, how do you, like, is that one of those things like, well, I'm probably not going to get the push I need to the end? Or, I mean, like, are you just kind of, do you not even worry about who it is behind you? Just like, I just got to, if I run my line, hopefully good things happen.
Well, I figured if I stayed in the middle, they were either going to go around me on the top side or undercut me on the bottom side. So I just said, well, let me get down the bottom here and see what happens. And then just happens to, Zach was behind me, which is good. So, he cooled his car off for as long as he could and pushed like hell there that last few laps. And he was a little bit too hot there at the end to continue pushing. But I mean, he tried his best. So I can't fault the guy there. So. I mean, I'll take P2. It was a hell of a race.
Yeah, it was a really good race, and you're right. I mean, and you guys made a really great charge out of 4 there, 3 and 4 for that final lap as well to make that charge through the tri-oval. So I say definitely wasn't all lost by any means. Like I said, he had to cool off, then he was able to make that charge back again. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I'm not sure what race 1 was for you over here, but I mean, this is now 5 wins out of 7 races in a second position. So. Still overall, I would say a really, really impressive season, especially you start looking at the averages. Halfway through the season before we get into the 4-race playoff, Obviously, one of your teammates, JD, getting a big win tonight to probably jump him up the running order as well. Ian, you talked about it too, or you want to start trying to pay them back as well. Is that something you look at closer now that we're halfway through the regular season?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just unfortunately, we kind of got split up, and they were able to make a run on the high side, and then JD was able to get to the middle there and got a nice push, I think, from Les. And of course, I think Cody may have blown up on that last lap. Somebody did. I wasn't sure who it was, but yeah, I mean, it was great that another teammate got a win. So that's always a big plus.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was Cody that popped the motor there at the end, trying to push Vicente, which as they kind of killed the middle lane's momentum there. But yeah, I mean, it was a really good race, really exciting. Like I said, a lot of strategies with fuel mileage and all that too. It was hard to say which was going to be the right way to go. But like I said, able to bring it home with the runner-up, teammate getting the win. So overall, still a good night. Got your laps led, got the pole, so bonus points there as well. So yeah, definitely want to give the floor here though, Gabe, for any thanks and shots you'd like to give for that runner-up tonight.
Big shout out to Team Boot Knocker again. It was great run with Gary, Eric, and JD in the room tonight. So and we pretty much had a blast. And appreciate Zach trying to get me across the line there, but too hot. And shout out to Area 51 for putting on this league, and of course you guys for doing your super duper broadcast as usual.
Nah, I appreciate it, Gabe. So great job tonight. Look forward to seeing you a few more nights time on Thursday. But yeah, congrats again, man, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys, and big congrats to JD. Great win, bud.
See you, Gabe.
All right, so we got to jump from that number 1 of Gabe Butler to the number 5 of JD Crow, but he's already celebrating, so let's back it down. So we got to watch that final push to the checkered flag by that number 5, because JD, it was looking a little doubtful for us initially. I was skeptical. I was like, man, they've lost the draft. They've lost Gabe. It's going to be tough sledding to get back up there, but I believe it was you and the 90 of Gary and then Eric Laurie, the three of you locked on. You pushed hard there. Obviously, it was kind of a calculated risk to go that one extra lap, knowing you might have to take a little more fuel. You might risk losing the pack a little bit there. But in the end, you got the momentum you needed. You had the fuel you needed there, and then you had that third lane and some great pushing at the end, able to get you kind of to the top there. I mean, how stressful was it after that final pit stop to just knowing how hard you're going to have to race to get to that even have a chance to win this thing?
Well, before we get started, I want to hope Jim enjoyed that race, because it was sure a lot of fun. Everybody in the room tonight did a great job. We had a really good race. It really wasn't too stressful because I had a great team around me. And that last stop, I actually ran out of gas coming into pit lane, so that kind of put me behind the ball. But Eric pitted with us. He was, I think, one lap down, the only car, so it wasn't a real risk for him to stay. He waited on me to come out, and then I think Gabe was just a little bit off the pack, and Gary was a little bit off Gabe, and then Eric and I were hooked up, and we were just able to kind of domino each other. We caught Gary, and then we're able to push hard to get Gabe was able to catch the pack, and then we were able to get to the pack and to the high side with Gabe and get him out front. And Les did a great job those last laps. I was kind of stuck back behind Gary and Jimmy with Vicente and the team down there in the middle. And so as soon as I got a chance, I went to the middle, because I felt like everybody was trying to slow us down and stretch their fuel mileage, especially the guys that were leading the lines, and was able to after about 7 or 8 laps, able to get to the top. And next thing I know, I got Les with me, and he's ready to do some shake and bake, and was able to. I was really kind of shocked me. Vicente and I kind of got toward each other. I didn't get an X or anything, but I was just trying to I wanted to keep heat on those guys. So possibly, they would have to get out of it, and we'd be able to get a good run, and I could get to the middle, and then Gabe and I would have the middle and the bottom. But, man, it was a fun night.
Yeah, it was an exciting one. Yeah, you're right though. That context, I said it cost you kind of a couple of car lengths, I guess you could say. But then yeah, you and Les hooked back up, and you guys just went back on a charge to get right back to where you were there, and then of course that late charge to the end to get the win there. We're joking obviously with Gabe pre-racing. He was saying like, I'm not feeling so confident about this one. Say that turning into a second place, obviously. But like I said, a big win for you tonight. So obviously it'll definitely help your point standings out, because somehow we're already halfway through the regular season before we get into that 4-race playoff. So 4 down, 4 to go until we get to that 4-race playoff. I mean, do you even look at points right now, or are you just kind of just going for the results week after week and then kind of let the chips fall where they may on the race number 8?
Well, I definitely look at the points, but then you got to kind of take it lap by lap, see what's going on around you and who you can run with and who you don't want to run with. So, we look at the points, keep an eye on it, but like I said, it can all turn around the next 4 races and go the other way. So we'll keep working hard, keep trying to strategize. The way these races are set up, it's a 2-stop, maybe a splash. So we're still working on maybe some strategy, so we make sure we've got a good pack of cars or trucks together, and maybe not have to pit with half the field or the whole field, where you can really get yourself hurt, knocked out of a race or a championship. So like I said, it's fun. It's not just pushing the pedal and turning the wheel. You got to put your brain on it and have some things go your way and have great teammates to do it with.
Yeah, definitely a lot of strategy involved, and I think, like I said, the big strategy for you guys is running that one extra lap, because that kind of, I think, set the pace for no fuel saving to the end. So, great job, JD. Enjoy this one. I want you to enjoy this one for sure. But before we let you go and do that, definitely got to give you the floor here for any thanks and shouts for that win tonight.
Oh, got to first, give a shout out to your dad. Hope he's doing well, and hope he got a thrill watching this race. You guys for the broadcast, Charles and all the admins to deal with us and when things don't go so well in this league, and make it a great place for us to race together and have fun. Got to shout out to Eric, for sticking with me on that last stop so we could get some momentum and get the group back together. Shout out to Jimmy and Les, and I think Eric might have been up on the high side on that last run of laps to the finish. And man, who else do we got here? Oh man, we got to, of course, thank our leader Gabe for all of his advice and keeping us all together and on the same page during the race, and also Gary for running with us. He's a monster on these speedways. He hadn't shown all of his colors yet, but man, he can put the cars on the pole and lead laps and run fast. So we're looking forward to him getting his feet wet and getting one of those guys to the front next time.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see, like I said, as you guys kind of grow and kind of everybody starts to gel with each other that little bit more. So, but yeah, great job though tonight, JD. Enjoy this one, man, and looking forward to seeing you here in a couple more nights' time on Thursday. So go enjoy this one, man. I
will appreciate it. Yeah, and I had so much fun here. I did a burnout, and somehow it gave me a 4X, and I lost my bonus points, but we'll be all right.
Oh, that's never ideal. Well, I'm sure they can have a chat with the admins about that, and hopefully that'll get cleared up. But yeah, that's crazy how that works. But
yeah,
great job tonight, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, Matt, that is our race winner in that number 5 machine of JD Crow. Parks it on the start-finish line here at Talladega. And yeah, I mean, the timing of the caution and then the strategy. I mean, it was on the edge of a 2-stopper from the get-go. Then the timing of the caution brings it right on the edge of a 1-stopper to the end there. But JD able to run the numbers to perfection there. Caught the field back up, able to battle for the win tonight, and was able to keep that outside line rolling with help from Les Levy to get the win here this evening.
Yeah, it was, it's strategy, luck, the way I didn't expect Cody to blow his motor there, but it prevailed Jimmy Crow to get the win here tonight. But excellent drive by all these drivers. I'm very, very impressed.
Yeah, everybody did a really great job. So before we finish things up though, we got to show where everybody else finished tonight. I know there's some drivers that fans want to know where their favorite drivers finished. As we see there, JD Crow beating Gabe there by 13 thousandths of a second. Les Levy over Zach Workman, Vicente Guerrero are top 5. Then you got Jimmy Crow Jr. there, Todd Siebels, Jay Hilliard, Tom Dixon, Bob Fitzgerald are top 10. Randy Minor, Charles Johnson. And then you got Bud Steele, Dan Harrington. We mentioned that pit stop strategy they did. Unfortunately, didn't pan out for them tonight. Stay in the lead lap, but unfortunately 32 seconds out. They went for the gamble, and like you said, Matt, unfortunately this one did not pay off. And then Cody Nagel's there. He got pushed across the finish line. He will finish in 15th. David Bond, Robert Jordan, Eric Laurie through the 18th position. Then we get to our final finishers here tonight. Doug Lemon, Robert DuPont, Dean Wilkinson, Robert Rock, David Overstreet, Gary Jenkins, Ivan Deschamps, Ron Blackwell, and Paul Turner will be our 27th finisher tonight. So unfortunately, some drivers not the nights they're looking for, but that's the fun part about this. We'll be back again next week for them to go at it once more. So Matt, glad to have you back, man. A lot of fun doing these with you. And yeah, we'll be back again on Tuesday night. So you'll be familiar with these guys with the IR18 Indy cars with Dark Horse. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what those guys are going to be doing here in just a few nights' time. So until then, though, everybody, hope you have a wonderful evening. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you all on Tuesday. Have a good night.
Likewise. Later.